Salve ragazzi, e si chiude oggi con l'intervista del secolo. Buonasera Mains, buonasera Enrico Mazzone, buonasera con appunto i nomi d'arte dottor appunto Enrico Mazzone. Oggi abbiamo niente poco di meno che ragazzi, veramente chiudiamo in bellezza questa domenica, i Morbid Saint, uno dei gruppi, se non tra i 5 migliori gruppi thrash metal mondiali. Ecco, non ci perdiamo in chiacchiere inutili. Ecco a voi, i Morbid Saint. Welcome.
Welcome guys. Hi.
Hey.
Allora,
prima
di tutto vorrei ringraziarvi veramente con il cuore in mano
perché
avete realizzato un mio sogno personale, avervi sul canale. Credetemi ragazzi, è un mio sogno che ho sempre voluto avervi nel canale. Quando mi avete risposto quasi quasi non ci credevo, quindi veramente fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you both to be here on our show, because it's pretty solid dream. It's something that even when Cattivo Maestro has been contacted you and you have been answered, he was not ciao arrogat. Was not it was quite unbelievable. So it's a real great honor to be here together to share some times.
Our honor too. Thank you. Yeah, we're honored to be here. Thank you.
Allora, prima domanda, proprio per rompere il ghiaccio. I Morbid Saint, da quando sono stati creati fino ad ora, quali obiettivi sono riusciti a raggiungere? Quali obiettivi si erano prefissati prima al debutto fino ad ora? E i Morbid Saint quanto hanno raccolto rispetto a quello che hanno seminato? Prego.
Right here, first one, just to break a little bit the ice, and it's very direct one question. If you have to tell by far how Morbid Saints has been evolved through the years, how and what did you have taken through the flow of time? How what kind of memory should you submit to few points if you have to make a kind of like a chronology?
Are we good now? I can. Okay. I had the other window open, so we were getting double.
Right.
Yeah, we were getting a severe latency.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were having a hard time hearing you. So sorry if you can repeat repeat the last part there.
Dolby surrounding. Okay, no worries about that.
Yeah, now we're good. Now we're
good now. Yeah.
It's a check, right? If you have to, let's say, first one is very direct one. How just to break a little bit the ice, should you recollect some of the memories from far behind until the modern days about Morbid Saints? If you should like have some sort of chronology in few points.
Way back in the day, that was like a lot of drinking and like good times. I mean, they were just, I mean, I'll let Jim answer that, you know, as far as the band's perspective. I was in the crowd watching them because they're from our hometown. So that was a whole lot of just them guys just shredding and partying.
Yeah. We were pretty young when everything started. We were all pretty young, and it was. We weren't trying to be rock stars or anything like that. We just happened to just find each other, and we all enjoyed. Back at the time, it was Metallica was starting. We were actually kind of together a little before that, but with Slayer and a lot of them bands, we just liked the music a lot, and we enjoyed jamming and a lot of drinking, like Bob said, and that.
Yeah, it's.
that was back then.
Drinking and jamming.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it was.
creatives well to pick up the source and steam it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Current town is except my pronunciation is not even quite correct, but Sheboygan.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's close.
That's
Sheboygan.
good. Sheboygan.
Yep.
Sheboygan, right?
Sheboygan, yeah.
And before to translate, I will like to add some spice of like on the tail of a question. Like, is that sort of town that like how did you how have you been treated, you all guys? Was that kind of town that was a little bit like against all sort of new attitudes, or perhaps was like your right cup of tea? Like, did you have you feel quite fine in like jamming and like sticking around with other mates or find some other bands? Like, how was the feeling of the feeling of the people?
Yeah.
Through you.
There's not a real big metal scene, I guess you could say, in Sheboygan back then. There's been a handful of bands. It's a very small city that we're from. It's not very big, but there's a lot of younger people were into metal. Just wasn't a lot of bands around here, doing a lot. We're close to some bigger cities that had some, but we were received well, if that's, I think, what you're asking. Wasn't hard for us to play shows. I mean,
you get to good turnouts, man.
Yeah, it was good. We one of the things with Spectrum of Death, that album, when we released that, it wasn't as, I guess, I don't want to say, it wasn't as well liked as it is now. So we weren't. It wasn't. I mean, it's awesome for us that overall this time that people have found the album and appreciate it and like it. But back in the time that we released it around here, it was not a big success, I guess you could say.
But that to me brings to the point to find out how you have been the pioneers of the scene in your own area, because if it would have been like another big city with a pretty solid scene, it would have been maybe underlined all your work. And plus, if there hasn't been, by my opinion, any other big success at the very beginning, it wouldn't have you brought to work on and just keep on follow your career, what we should say nowadays. So like have a bit of a shadow on the earlier days brings the band to have the well-deserved success after. Okay,
it may have, things may have been a little different had we come from San Francisco or New York or so. If we would have been in a different city, it might have been different, but we'll never know.
Yeah. Okay. Right, quindi allora innanzitutto oltre ad essere contenti di essere qua a raccontare un po', diciamo, i loro passati trascorsi, comunque un ricordo dei translation dicono che hanno passato spesso giornate nella loro cittadina che si chiama Sheboygan, e praticamente sì, insomma, passati magari a bere, nel senso bere per cercare di aizzare un po' gli animi e a suonare. Quindi questi sono un po' i garage days, come spesso vengono definiti. Hanno, come ricordiamo, prodotto diversi album, ma il primo demo lo Up Your Children, if is that quite correct. The demo was rehearsed in 1988. Hanno praticamente iniziato poi a crescere, ad evolversi nel loro stile. All'inizio non c'è stato un gran, a loro detto, un gran successo, come spesso capita per molte band, anche perché gli ho chiesto se la loro cittadina li ha comunque resi, mi sembra sia, li ha comunque resi conosciuti col passare del tempo, quindi all'inizio non c'era forse una propria scena metal, quindi probabilmente loro sono stati pionieri di quello che insomma hanno portato avanti poi con influenze dette trash, quindi onore al merito, perché è sempre un lavorone, penso, cercare di portare qualcosa di nuovo nella propria area, che sia poi urbano o suburbano.
Ok, allora, nel 1990 uscì un vero capolavoro del thrash, firmato Morbid Saint, e mi sto riferendo a Spectrum of Death. Lavoro veramente eccezionale, perché si è riusciti a coniugare pazzia, follia ed estremismo sonoro. Se questo disco full length, Spectrum of Death, dovrebbe incarnare una sorta di pellicola orrorifica ma anche drammatica e folle, che tipo di film sarebbe? E il titolo? Quale titolo avrebbe fuori dal contesto del nome dell'album?
Then, we in 1990 it has been released, one of your to our belief, your one of your masterpiece, Spectrum of Death. By our opinion, it has been a quite good combination about madness, supersonic sound, a bit of like like crazy lyrics involved. So it is state that it's, in our opinion, a masterpiece, and I guess that anybody can say the opposite. So how has been how has been the work behind the curtains? Do you have some good narration to express how has been the work, the creative content, and the music, and the rehearsing? What do you have in such way as your opinion? As
are you talking for Spectrum specifically? How we recorded that, or just everything that went into that? Is that what you're asking?
It's an open window where you should pour on to some opinion about how has this been.
When you guys are writing it.
Well, when we back in that whole era, we practiced as a band pretty much every day. And when you play the material that much, when we went and recorded it, we recorded it basically live, which most people don't do, but we recorded it live, and I think we got most of the songs. Jay would know a little bit better. He remembers things better than I do, but we got almost all the tracks done in one take. We played them through once before we went back for solos and things like that. But the overall, I guess, production of that album really came down a lot to Eric Greif, who was the manager of Death at the time. He really had a lot to do with the atmospheric type things and stuff going on in there. I don't know if does that answer the question?
Yeah, it's getting great, and and how do you see by the time all, let's say 1998, it's been 90 how it's been through like these 20 years and more of activity. How do you consider the album itself? What kind of perception brings you to how you are playing nowadays? And would you ever have the conveniency to remaster and or replay the album as a new issue, just in case?
Unfortunately, the studio that we recorded that at, it closed down. A lot of stuff. We tried to recover our masters. We don't. They don't. If they exist, we don't know where they are, unfortunately. So if we would do anything, we would actually have to replay it and re-record it, which isn't, I guess, necessarily out of the question. I mean, we could always do that. The way from obviously, I was out of the band for quite a while. Bob came in shortly when Jay got the band back together. So Bob's been in the band a long time now. Jay obviously, kept the thing going, and we're, compared to then to now, I'm sure, I don't know if you're going to touch on this or anything, but we do have a new album that we've recorded. It's being mixed and mastered right now. So hopefully that's not going to be too much longer till that gets released. But compared to back then to now,
the sound
the sound is obviously going to be
way better.
I know some people have said that. It's like, don't come out with this real polished sound, because that's not what it was there. And unfortunately, with just recording techniques today and things, technology, I think people are going to be happy with it. It definitely relates to Spectrum, the new stuff. But like you said, as far as being able to, I wish we would have the tapes that we could have remastered it, and I would like it to sound a little bit better. I know people like it for the sound that it has is a whole part of that, and we understand it and we accept that. But for us, I wish it sounded a little bit better myself.
Yeah, that's quite a good catch. Ok, dunque ci sono stati dei problemi intanto di interferenza, la connessione è un po' saltata. Comunque cerco di riprendere un po' il filo del discorso. Comunque all'Ordetta è un periodo che viene incorniciato nel tempo, quindi quando l'hanno registrato è stato un momento quasi catartico, perché veniva fuori quella che era la loro rabbia e furia primordiale, per cui comunque, come tu dici, un tocco di follia.
Weren't even happy with that sound,
right?
Like if you could have.
I don't know if they.
What?
No,
shit! Sorry,
we were just talking.
Yeah, go ahead. We thought it was a translation part.
No problem.
It's all in quindi ci sta che insomma era un periodo in cui adesso forse è cambiato un po' l'orientamento, magari, però comunque il modo di suonare rimane sempre lo stesso. Quindi gli ho anche chiesto se arriverebbero mai a pensare magari di magari rieditarlo, perché rimane comunque una pietra miliare, anche se comunque uno dei loro primi lavori rimane un po', diciamo, il perno della loro carriera. Ora stanno tra l'altro registrando un nuovo album, quindi ci hanno un po' preceduto nella domanda prossima che vi farò, però probabilmente non c'è al momento l'esigenza, però non è una domanda scontata, perché vorranno arrivare poi a celebrare quello che potrebbe, per esempio, essere un cinquantenario, visto che il 25enario è già passato, e magari risuonare interamente in un altro, magari con dei gear un po' più attuali, comunque quello che potrebbe cambiare nel suono, nella composizione, quindi non solo rieditarlo, ma fare un po' qualche versione, diciamo, un po' più adatta ai tempi che stiamo vivendo, magari con qualche contaminazione.
Ok, prima di porre la domanda c'è questo commento da Twitch, dal nostro Cell Craze.
Allora, un attimo che non me... As the story goes back in the day, they couldn't even give the album Sway for free, thanks to guys like Chuck S. and Eric Grief for getting into others people's hands in the Bay. LA trash scene, right? Here's from Chris.
Ok, il nome è appunto Call Craze. Ok, salutiamo Call Craze, salutiamo anche Morbid. Allora, la domanda è questa, ragazzi, come un vostro disco, ok? A livello compositivo, quanto tempo ci vuole? Nel senso, è più veloce di quello che si pensa, oppure la composizione è abbastanza complessa? Quindi creare dei riff, dei parti di batteria, delle linee di basso con la voce. E quanto un vostro disco, riesce a incarnare la situazione live solamente ascoltando il vostro prodotto su CD?
From the concept until the the solid copy of the LP of the long plane. How long you guys are taking time for make the whole craft work? I mean, is it so? Does it look so fast as it seems to be, or is there, of course, is I guess a process where all the ingredients, all the spices are taking time to get mixed and shrouded together before the magic will shows up? Put it shortly, how long do you take approximately to make a new album? Like, for instance, the one you're currently on work. Again, it's kind of like a behind the scene sort of.
Well, you have a time frame that you have in mind. You have goals you want to meet, and sometimes those goals don't always get met. Things happen, things get put behind for one way or another. It could take, what do you think, 9 months? I mean, it all depends. It all depends on the situations and what happens. Unforeseen things can happen, which delays the process. You always have goals you set, but then things kind of come up and they delay the process a little more. So it's sort of a,
if everything would go perfect, right now, the new album, from starting to like write it, conceive it, write all the songs, everything, for us, you're about, if everything would go good, about 1.5 years.
When it gets into your hands, when you can hold a physical copy.
Yeah. But now, even right now to even have like an album pressed and, you know, and have copies made, there's some of them are 4 to 5, 6 months out. So even once this is all done, mixed and mastered, which is where it's at right now, it's still going to be, you know, hopefully only, you know, 4 months till we actually have physical copies, and that's completely out of our control. That's just with supply chains and things the way they are right now.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you can't foresee it happening. You know, it's just one of them deals where you have to wait, you know.
Yeah.
Would it be so that each and every concept, so which describe the full length, has some kind of void or energy that brings to open, not only in the way to make the music and to create the lyrics, but is that some kind of like a lineage that extend the time period to create the product itself? Like like I asked, I would like to make
during
a
the writing process.
Yeah.
During the writing process, what might extend it longer? Are you kind of wondering?
If the concept itself behind the lyrics, behind the music, like the first magmatic idea might, for instance, extend or reverse the time period about the composition of the.
I don't. I'm not sure if I understand 100%, but I think obviously the complexity of the songs is going to add more time. Some songs come together real fast. Some take a little bit. You know, it doesn't. You know, we haven't on this new album. We haven't every song. We haven't thrown any just songs in there just for the sake of adding more. They're all very strong. They all went together very well. Actually, the writing was pretty quick. Actually,
yeah, the writing went pretty fast.
The actual writing of it, and it always starts out in one form, and things will get added and changed.
Yeah.
So is that what you're?
Yeah, it'll kind of, you know, like someone will bring down the blueprint of the song and what their idea of it, but then once everybody else starts adding their spice to the whole picture, depending on the song, it prolongs it a little longer depending on how well everything fit together, and if you got to take something out or put something in, or someone didn't like something. Like if I didn't write something, I didn't like something, I wrote a bass line underneath it, like, man, hey, let's change that. So I mean, sometimes it's a little longer when everyone adds their own ingredient to it, to the main idea. It can take a little longer.
Yeah, clear, right. Yeah, you kept the answer quite clear, as we wish. Ok, translation time. Dunque, ovviamente ci sono diversi momenti comunque nei quali alcuni album possono richiedere più o meno tempo. Questo non dipende dal tempo che si ha a disposizione, ma dal concept dell'album e da quello che emana come musica, come energia, come creatività. In linea di massima, a rispondere in modo molto molto diretto alla domanda, ci si impiegano circa 1 anno e mezzo per i testi, che vengono comunque scritti in modo molto quasi di getto, immediati, perché viene comunque prima la musica, quindi ricordando un po' quello che dicevano nel modo in cui hanno avuto il loro approccio con con la musica, con i primi giorni di registrazione c'è questa jam, e poi quindi dopo la musica vengono i testi. Quindi credo che se sia un'intesa molto coesa, sì, la musica ha quasi un primato, e poi viene a seguire quello che è la composizione dei testi, che viene quasi a incorniciare quello che poi viene registrato. Poi ho chiesto in coda se eventualmente ci sono degli album, dei lavori, degli album, delle creazioni che possono, in base al concept che hanno, estendere, allungare, dilungare, oppure restringere i tempi. Cioè, come dire, se magari per esempio, citare, come tu hai fatto, Spectrum of Death, a differenza di Destruction System, che gli chiederemo adesso, magari al di fuori della preparazione o meno musicale che avevano, poteva in qualche modo dare un'energia, uno smalto diverso, per creare quello che richiede comunque un periodo di tempo. Quindi dipende effettivamente confermano, dipende effettivamente dal materiale sul quale si sta lavorando. Quindi in media possono impiegare 1 anno e mezzo per comporre un disco, poi dipende da quello che si ha come matrice, come energia, come ispirazione.
Perfetto, la domanda che mi viene da porre è questa: se andiamo a scegliere all'interno di un arsenale un'arma chimica e un'arma bellica per descrivere l'aggressività dei Morbid Saint attraverso una guerra nucleare, che armamento sceglierebbero, sia via aereo e sia via terra?
Okay, we start to to get way deeper into some imaginative, visual landscape. So it's a bit like required not to take anything for granted, but to open up some sort of like imaginary association, which always goes good in such situation. If you have to describe with a chemical weapon or a nuclear weapon, the Morbid Saints sound system, what would you associate? Like, what would be the best? Because you have to think like some sort of like Armageddon, so.
Which album?
What?
Which album? Just, all of them?
Thanks for giving a new insight. Let's say first to make like your your trademark, your blueprint, and then I will personally like to ask about Destruction System. So overall, generally, Morbid Saints, like specific, like nuclear kind of like association weapon, and then.
How would you describe that? If you had to put Morbid Saint into a weapon of this mass destruction, what type of weapon is Morbid Saint? The music, the whole body of it.
What you got? I don't.
I would say, because just the sound of Spectrum of Death. It's like a nuclear bomb, because of how it sounds, it's like a dirty bomb. It'd be like a dirty bomb.
Is that what?
I think so. Yes.
Is that what the question is? Are you saying what kind of bomb would we refer to our music as?
Or what kind of?
Well, I think he said destruction system.
More like.
Well, you can ask that later.
Yeah. Do you see something more like chemical weapon, or something more nuclear, like something that it's like completely nuking everything and there's nothing more after that?
Yeah.
I would say
I'm still not understanding the question.
if you had to correlate Morbid Saint and the music, would you describe it as like a chemical weapon on the public, or a nuclear bomb on the public, or a dirty bomb, or a mustard gas, or
I guess for me it would be just the fact that you're asking that, that people perceive our music that way. I think that's just awesome. And I mean, I myself, I don't know.
I would say it's like, as a fan's perspective, like back in the day, I would call it like a dirty bomb, like a dirty nuclear bomb. It'll destroy you. It'll fucking wreck you. Yeah, can't say that word. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I would say it's definitely a weapon of mass destruction for sure. I would call it a dirty bomb.
Is that what you're looking for?
Well, as a free association, Cattivo Maestro, probably his way to putting on such questions is how would that be like a good connection between the sound and the assault of the sound itself in a free association. So probably, I guess that he's recognized into, and I support, because like some sound experience are totally, overblasting in a way that has to create some sort of like to submit to some subconsciously to some like visual or imaginative landscape, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still not getting
the sound. How would you compare the sonic and the music and the sonic sound of it?
And you're referencing Destruction System?
Yeah.
All of it. Destruction System?
Well, I guess I ask it like hai chiesto qualcosa legato ovviamente, perché bisogna un attimo capire di cosa si sta parlando, perché si parla che potrebbe essere sicuramente qualcosa di distruzione di massa, quindi nel senso una specie di bomba sporca che
semplicissimo, una bomba atomica, ok, chimica, per descrivere l'aggressività del Morbid Saint all'interno dei full length. Quindi quella parte è esplosiva. Poi scelgo altre due parti, che c'è quella parte via terra e via mare. Via terra è come se è un'arma, appunto un missile che viene lanciato a terra-aria per descrivere il riff. Invece via terra è quell'esercito per descrivere il drumming dei Morbid Saint.
Okay, of course, it's now I also have much way better to explain, although the question is lingering anyway to the same concept, because the aggressivity of the sound will kind of like bring some sort of like way to channel the drumming, the rhythmic section, the guitars, the vocal, and it looks like because of the over powerfully aggressivity, each and every like sonic experience, if we have to split between how the sounds are pursuing on the amps, that each and every let's say, for instance, like the drumming will looks like some sort of like earthly kind of atomic, nuclear, whatsoever, like kind of like a tragedy. Although it's not to associate about the evil of. There's no evil in here. It's only like a sort of like a massacre sound experience. So even let's say the guitars are way more airy in a way. So it like looks from Cattivo Maestro perception that it's another like atomic experiences. So if we have to combine the the nuking experience with the sounds, it looks like we will all be fucked up. It's such other ways. Like no control anymore, and that will be like
right. I get it.
Probably there will be like sort of like a movie experience. Like, have you ever thought, guys? I add to the question: if you would have to play a soundtrack for a movie, which kind of movie would that be, and which kind of music would you persist to play? If that might ease up the question, perhaps.
Okay.
I'm
Spectrum of Death. If you had to put Spectrum of Death to a movie soundtrack, what kind of movie would that be? What kind of movie would you use Spectrum of Death as a soundtrack to? Like a nuclear holocaust movie, a zombie apocalypse, mass chaos, just
I don't have anything. It's a hard question. It's
utter destruction type movie where it's just cataclysmic. Oh,
I got nothing.
I don't think it would be like a Satan. I don't think it'd be like a
Satan.
movie.
No, I don't think there's anything.
It'd be more like a just absolute obliteration, chaotic, just people panicking and the bomb's coming and everyone just gets their faces melted off.
I don't have anything for that one. I'm sorry.
Fine, and you're great.
But perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we lost you.
Okay. The problem, the connection. One moment, please, friends.
Oh, yeah.
Ok?
Yep.
Perfetto. Siamo tornati. Ok.
Here. Okay,
è sparita la connessione.
I'm here. Excuse the blinking, but I think I might very much eased up the question in such way. If you would have to, e dopo traduco, if you would have to make free association about the music you're doing, what kind of scenery would you have? Maybe it's even more polite to, instead of talking about a spectrum of atrocity and blasting and such ever. When are you playing, you all guys? What kind of feelings or experience are you seeing or are you visualizing? Mm-hmm.
I would say like high energy, kind of chaotic, controlled chaos, people having fun, just massive mosh pits, that kind of thing. Just people just letting their hair down, so to speak, and just letting loose and having a good time and just tearing things up. No rest. There's very little rest.
Get it. Ok, that's actually more right. Ok, dunque, c'è stato un connessione a parte. Allora, la domanda è stata per metà capita, per metà probabilmente malinterpretata, per questo mi sono fermato poi nell'andare avanti, perché allora diciamo che sì, sicuramente potrebbe essere una sorta di, insomma, citare quello che hai esemplificato come possibilità, una specie di esperienza da distruzione di massa, quindi sarebbe, diciamo, loro l'hanno definita come una bomba sporca. Adesso non so esattamente se si riferisca a una batteriologica, però comunque qualcosa di molto caotico, di molto del tipo che dopo quello non ci sarebbe più nient'altro. Però non sono voluto andare avanti perché insomma, d'altro canto sembrava che stessimo andando un po', diciamo, in una direzione non proprio non proprio adatto, poteva essere mal interpretato, allora mi sono fermato. Allora mi sono permesso di chiedere allora cosa loro potrebbero visualizzare nel momento in cui suonano, quando fanno l'esperienza di, vabbè, dal suonare in sala ai concerti nei vari stage, quindi vedono qualcosa di sicuramente un'energia molto, molto carica, molto positiva, e ovviamente vedere che la gente si diverte, che insomma poga durante che poi ci sono anche questi stage diving, mosh pit e quant'altro, possono essere un po' più, come dire, un po' il tipo di immagine che preferiscono visualizzare, però capiscono comunque che c'è un'energia comunque caotica, presumibilmente positiva, e allora hanno risposto in modo molto gentile alla domanda, però si allontanano un po' da quel tipo di, cioè viene, come dire, si prenderebbero un po' male se associerebbero comunque, se venisse associato alla musica una sorta di evento distruttivo o nucleare, anche perché al di fuori di quello non ci sarebbe più la possibilità di suonare probabilmente.
Ok, perfetto. La cosa che vorrei sapere dai Morbid Saint, qual è stato il live più folle che avete fatto, i fan più folli e quelli più scatenati, e la nazione perfetta per eseguire un live dei Morbid Saint qual è? Togliamo però l'America Latina, perché l'America Latina è molto focosa, quindi una nazione che molti rispondono, quindi vanno a decifrare quella come nazione. Vorrei sapere un'altra nazione. Prego.
Secondo me lo anticipo virgolettato, potrebbe essere l'esperienza di Pechino Beyond the State of Hell, ma glielo chiediamo perché forse era proprio quello la domanda con il cucchiaino che vorremmo fargli. Allora, behind your experiences through all those years and places, where has been taking the best live experience ever, and who has been your favorite audience? Like, if you have to have a kind of like a cliche through all these years, which kind of what was the best experience, the best live experience you had on stage?
I'm gonna leave that one to Bob, just because I wasn't in the band, and they got to go play quite a few bigger shows in different countries and things like that. Prior to that, way back in the day, we did one of the bigger shows we did back then was Milwaukee Metal Fest in '89, I think. It was Metal Fest 3, which we actually just played Metal Fest in Milwaukee again about a month ago or month and a half. But for me, back in the day, that was my biggest. But we didn't have the opportunities that these guys did over the last 15 years. So I'm gonna let Bob answer out of all the places that they were able to play, what would be the best. Because
that's tough to answer, because there's been a lot of them. You go down Central America, South America, it's how it felt to me anyway. It was like stepping back into a time machine back into the 80s. I mean, they were just crazy. They were some really good shows. To try to pick one of them is really hard to do, because the fans there are just, it's like like I said, it's like stepping into a time machine. I'm like, wow. But then again, we went to Europe, and Europe, that was some really good shows as well. Germany, they're really into it. When we played there, we went into Asia, and they were a little more they're a little more. It was still a great show. Good shows. They were a little more. I don't even know how you say it. They were all. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say what is the best show. If I could pick out, I mean, I could give you examples that stick out in my mind that I remember that was just off the hook. And like that was.
But crowd wise,
I
typically
mean,
over there, more rowdy than the United States.
Oh, then in the U.S., well, even in the U.S., depending on where, it all depended on the show. They were just as rowdy, but like, I don't know, some of the best shows that I remember playing in, it was down in Mexico. It was just absolutely off the hook, but they were all good. It's just really hard to single out if any group of people is better than, as far as metalheads. Metalheads were metalheads no matter where you went. You could be in China, you could be in Germany, you could be in New York City, or you could be in Mexico City. It was the same thing. They were just crazy. I mean, metalheads, that family of metalheads is awesome. And it's as if you didn't. It's as if you never left the U.S. or anywhere else. Everybody's the same as far as just craziness into their metal, and we have great fans out there that really just go off the hook. So I guess it's really hard to pinpoint, one better than the other. I guess my biggest show, I remember the one that just blew my mind was in China, playing in front of 30,000 people. That just because of the sheer numbers, you walk up on stage and you see that many people, you're like, whoa, I couldn't see the end of the crowd. But really, it's hard to give any other.
But more credit than any.
Yeah, it's hard because the metal community is the same all around the world. They're into metal and they love metal, and it doesn't matter where you're at. They all love it. And they all react the same, and they all have a good time. And you could be in one country or another, and it's as if you were in the same place. I mean, so it's kind of hard. That's a tough one to answer. There's so many good ones,
I was expect to hear, because there's, of course, that's not, it doesn't have to be a state, but it becomes some kind of no, wrong word, state, like a league, exactly as you say. There is like some sort of like good connection all over the places. And I also understand the question in a way, if would have been, but that probably would have been in Beijing, where you have been recorded. If I kept the question that Cattivo Maestro wanted to ask, it would have been like the ever last experience that we will always bring on your memories, except the South America, that is very well kind of like compatible with the death metal scene, and especially founded on you, as you also have been recorded for the Mexican label. Was it correct?
Yeah.
But okay, I'll get to translate and way back on the next. Dunque, domanda difficile ma non difficile, nel senso che a livello di esperienza c'è stato sicuramente, un crescendo di ricordi, di memorie, di concerti soprattutto, che sono stati fatti un po' ovunque, a partire proprio come tu dici già, dall'America Latina, il Messico sicuramente, perché c'è una scena che che è molto legata comunque all'estetica death thrash metal, quindi il pubblico più caloroso che hanno avuto sicuramente, diciamo all'inizio, è stato proprio in quella area specifica. Poi andando un po' avanti col tempo, sono poi spinti in Europa, siamo spinti poi in Europa e magari in Europa si sono poi un po', come dire, non convertiti, però hanno visto anche molte esperienze che erano legati in Germania, in Inghilterra, pensando poi di andare oltre terra ancora e finire diciamo in Cina, dove comunque hanno ancora un bel ricordo appunto del live che hanno registrato nel 2015 in Pechino, per cui insomma è un po' difficile poi alla fine arrivare a un'esperienza unica, anche se ho provato un po' a sondare se magari c'era proprio magari non so quel concerto, quel festival che li ha segnati. Invece a loro detta c'è proprio questa connessione quasi di un'unica come dire, i fan pazzi, fuori di testa, comunque che li seguono da sempre, sono un po' in tutto, c'è una connessione che li lega in tutto il mondo, quindi è difficile ancora oggi, nonostante tutte le esperienze sono state uniche, trovare quelle in particolare, perché comunque si spostano, c'è sempre quel parola sbagliata, ma tanto per capirci, quel cliché che li porta a riconoscere i loro fan preferiti.
Ok, a te l'ultima domanda del canale, appunto, la domanda marchio di fabbrica. Prego, buon divertimento.
Okay, then we have one very last question before to give you credits to speak for free about what happens in the current days, or like just say what comes through your minds, what pops up. But here's the one. As you see, there's our logo is a black Calice, which because of the screens, blue screen has to turn to be a white. But anyway, it's a black Calice. And what would you have to pour on it to cheer up your best future? Any spirit, any liquid, any whatsoever you would like to have on the Calice, what would that be?
No beer. No beer. No beer. No beer. No beer. No beer.
No beer.
Oh boy.
Hard liquor.
Wow.
I'm a Southern Comfort guy myself, or Jack Daniels. But
yeah, as Wisconsin, we might expect something too sweet.
Yeah. Drink beer.
Beer.
No beer.
We are from Wisconsin, which beer is very big in Wisconsin.
Beer's huge in Wisconsin.
I mean, we probably could sacrifice our drummer and pour his blood over it.
Blood.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Our drummer's blood.
I mean,
he would be good with that.
We probably could do that, but I'm sure DJ will appreciate it.
Yeah, DJ would like that. Yeah.
But if it brings us good luck, we're gonna sacrifice DJ.
We're gonna sacrifice DJ, but not his feet. Maybe like an elbow.
Yeah.
Or yeah. DJ's blood. Our drummer's blood.
Yeah.
Maybe hire a new one to keep playing with his old bones.
Correct. Right.
Chiaro per tutti, allora sì, sicuramente venendo al Wisconsin possono magari, non lo so, qualcosa di tipico, magari qualche... Però vabbè, scherzando, sì, insomma, penso che sacrificando il batterista potrebbero riempirlo del loro sangue e brindare ai futuri eventi. Quindi un po' triblato, però penso che alla fine possa essere whisky.
Perfetto. Allora, ragazzi, prima di tutto, veramente grazie mille. Thank you very much. Very honored the interview Morbid Saint. Fantastic. Secondo, vi auguriamo tutto il meglio, anche quello più meno immaginabile per il vostro futuro Morbid Saint a livello di dischi, live e vita privata. Più avanti vi vorrei una seconda parte perché sarebbe veramente fantastico. Poi, quando siete liberi, organizziamo la seconda parte di intervista verso Morbid Saint. Quindi io vi ringrazio veramente, grazie di aver accettato l'intervista, grazie di avermi fatto realizzare questo sogno. Grazie a voi.
Right. We are all thankful. It's a big fat thanks to be together with us today. But of course, our wish is all the best in the career and in the personal life, no matter what. It would be likely, as much as you feel connected with us, to have a second part where we can just deep dive into some like more anyway, like some deeper matters about whatsoever comes. Maybe because you spot before that you're working on a new long playing, so that might be maybe as you feel like to get along with another part. But to you is the last word. If you would like to spot something we haven't got the time to talk about, but it's a free time now to put things on place if we haven't got the time to tell before or to investigate.
I think what you just mentioned about doing another interview in the future after the new album comes out, that I think that'd be great. After you've had a chance to hear it, because we'd be curious to see, what you think of the new material, the new album. As far as anything else we want to touch on, I kind of understand a little bit, that he's thanking us for being here, and we'd like to thank him for even having us. We're very humbled when these things arise for us, because we don't consider ourselves, we're no different than you guys. We just happen to do this, and we're very fortunate that we wrote a couple albums that a lot of people really like, and we appreciate it greatly, more than you'll ever know, that we're still able to do this after all this time. It's mind-boggling, and we're hoping that it continues with the new album. We're really hoping people like the new album. We really like it. As far as anything else that you didn't cover, I'm good. I'm good with the questions you had. I apologize for not understanding everything 100%, but we'll work on that for the next one. If Bob wants got anything?
No. I don't know if anyone's seen. We released our first official music video.
Wow, great!
Not too long ago. We released our first official music video, but that's not the audio. We're gonna be putting the studio audio to it in the near future. That wasn't what you're gonna hear on the CDs. we will be putting our actual studio audio to it very soon. So if you haven't checked that out, you should go ahead, check that out. It was a pretty cool video.
Sure.
And Destruction System, great album. You guys should it doesn't get, to me, Destruction System doesn't get enough credit. I think it's everyone loves Spectrum of Death, and they should, but Destruction System was also, in its own right, was just a great album to listen to. It's a very good album. But other than that, yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear the new album. We're pretty excited.
Ok. Dunque, sì, allora devo riprendere un attimo la staffa. Allora, anche per loro è stato un piacere e un onore essere con noi in quest'ora. Sono stati contenti delle domande che in parte non hanno recepito, per questo si scusano. Però la cosa che è saltata cioè, che li ha colpiti è che comunque da persone umili quali sono, anche se sono comunque abituati a mandare avanti questo gruppo, e come hanno detto, è capitato che fosse stato, cioè, è capitato così, quindi si trovano a portare avanti qualcosa che probabilmente neanche loro pensavano li portasse così lontano. Quindi sono abituati, ma non sono mai troppo abituati, a ricevere gratificazioni, complimenti, e comunque a essere, riconosciuti come gruppo, soprattutto fuori dal loro dagli Stati Uniti. Quindi ringraziano, gli farà molto piacere se potranno essere nostri ospiti ancora una volta, magari con l'uscita del nuovo album. È uscito un video, però devono ufficiale, però devono rimettere l'audio che hanno messo in studi di registrazione, quindi quello che c'è adesso è ancora un attimo in divenire. Però ricordano che a chiusa dell'intervista che Spectrum of rimane comunque un disco al quale loro sono ancora molto, molto legati, perché comunque racchiude un po' l'essenza di quello che è ancora il loro suono Morbid Saint. Quindi ci consigliano ancora magari una volta un accurato ascolto, e magari potremo pensare di fare uno storytelling dei vari brani una volta.
No problem. Thank you very much, ragazzi. Thank you very much. Fantastico.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Bye bye, ragazzi.
Bye. That was great.
Bye, guys. Take care.
See you guys.
Farewell. Bye.
Bye.
Ok. Perfetto. Ok. Perfetto. Anche oggi è fatta, ragazzi miei. Domenica molto molto particolare, con i meandri dell'oscurità ritorna il dottor Enrico Mazzone, perché ricordatevi che l'oscurità accompagna Brucia e Calice Nero per tutto il millennio, fino a quando moriremo. Non so se dopo che moriremo ci sarà sempre, ma ci sarà sempre il ricordo del Calice. Quindi ragazzi, basta andare sulle pagine YouTube, la pagina Facebook e quant'altro. Dopo che moriamo ci sarà sempre, quindi non moriremo mai, sarà appunto per l'eternità. Io grazie Enrico, veramente grazie di cuore.
Un piacere come al solito il nostro incontro.
Ma il piacere è tutto mio, infatti io e te ci vediamo direttamente domenica. Sì, prossima settimana, che sarà una settimana veramente molto molto interessante, poi ti dico band e tutto, quindi preparati. Niente, ti auguro una buona serata, un buon riposo e ci sentiamo via telefono. Grazie come sempre.
Un piacere, ciao.
Ciao Enrico. Ciao carissimo. Ok ragazzi, allora vediamo un pochettino. Ok, perfetto. Ok ragazzi, e anche oggi è conclusa. Dalle 16:30 a 17:30 c'è stata l'arte oscura con il progetto, lo split Vivian Christ, scusate, la Fornasetta. veramente progetto molto interessante. Poi dalle 18 alle 19 c'è stato Vernia, batterista of Calice, ok? Calice, progetto veramente incredibile, ok? E poi abbiamo chiuso in bellezza con i Morbid Saint, che io veramente adoro, sono pazzo di loro, li adoro, li amo. Per me è stato veramente un sogno che si è realizzato, dopo il sogno dei Mayhem, dopo il sogno dei Dark Funeral, di tanti gruppi, si è realizzato anche questo mio personalissimo sogno. Allora ragazzi, prima di tutto grazie mille a tutti chi ha interagito, chi ha seguito la puntata, veramente grazie mille ragazzi. Quindi grazie Arogat, grazie Rumorbid, Cell Craze, veramente grazie mille ragazzi, thank you very much. Adesso andiamo a ascoltare il brano in rotazione sul Calice Nero di Spnea, che è un progetto Depressive Black, che la cover, che non mi stancherò mai di dire, è stata fatta da Maxine Taccardi, che è un artista francese però trapiantato ormai in States, è colui che ha fondato i KFR, progetto veramente pazzesco, che prima che saranno anche oggetto di video recensione sull'arte oscura. Niente ragazzi, adesso vi lascio questo dischetto Overdose Depression 2023 autoprodotto, con la track che vi rimetto in onda perché è stata già messa in onda ma ve la voglio rimettere, Let Me Call You. Da domani ci saranno altre track dei sempre di Spnea. Buon ascolto. Eccoci qua ragazzi, siamo ritornati in onda. Allora, Let Me Call You, track molto interessante dall'album Overdose Depression di Snea 2023. Quindi ragazzi, questo è tutto, ci vediamo direttamente domani con il debutto, la prima puntata che verrà condotta da me, cattivo maestro, e da Arrogat, Il Sentiero Abbandonato. Ci divertiremo alla grande, è uno spazio dove passerà materiale appunto dal large noise al doom, scusate, al rush noise, al noise, al drone, qualcosa di elettronica, quindi veramente sarà un dark ambient, quindi sarà veramente un programma molto interessante, quindi preparatevi che appunto vi faremo gustare alcuni dischi molto interessanti, alcune track molto molto interessanti. Ci saranno anche delle sorprese. Domani andrà in onda appunto sullo spazio il debutto di un progetto molto interessante dove c'è un musicista italiano grandissimo del black metal, ma adesso si mette appunto, ha fatto dark ambient, quindi veramente un progetto molto interessante sotto la Brucia Records. Non vi dico il nome, ma forse qualcuno ha già capito che è un progetto from Genova. Allora ragazzi, niente, grazie a tutti come sempre. Domani poi dalle 21 alle 22 ci sarà la video intervista con gli Exhumer, grande gruppo thrash metal from Deutschland, quindi ci divertiremo alla grande. L'8 ci sarà un gruppo fuori dal metal estremo, ma con dark ambient, dark cabaret molto interessante, che oggi verrà annunciato questa notte. E niente ragazzi, ci vediamo direttamente domani puntuali dalle 19 alle 20 con Il Sentiero Abbandonato, prima puntata, e poi dalle 21 alle 22 ci saranno gli Exhumer con il mio collaboratore appunto Adimer. Ragazzi, il grande spettacolo non si fermerà mai, il sacro codice d'onore è 000, la morte vi renderà liberi. Au revoir.